Alright guys, I'm heading to the venue now. It's just after 8 o'clock. I'm not going to make the same mistake I made yesterday and turn up late, or almost late. I'm on the other side of the road because the crossing over there is not working, or at least it wasn't for me last night. Although Colin and Mark said they walked back around at the same time as me. I must have just missed them. And they said it was working when they crossed over, so maybe it's just me. Maybe they didn't like what I was saying about Death Valley and Area 51, I don't know. Anyway guys, it was a nice breakfast. I didn't eat quite so much this time because I didn't have time, basically. Although according to Anthony Peake, time is something that could be stretched, but it didn't stretch for me. So, but I had an interesting conversation. I was there slightly before Colin and Mark, and so I went and sat at one of the circular tables rather than the booth because it's much better. You kind of squeeze in and stuff like that. And this guy came up and says, "Hello, friend, mind if I join you?" And he's a bloke I know. I'd not seen him before. I didn't know him, but I'd seen him at the conference. He must have recognised me. And I think most people there at the conference actually. And so he said he's introduced himself as Dan, and he said, "What do you Brits think of American politics?" And I said, "Well, we think you're crazy, most of us." And I think I said to him, and his mate came and joined us. His chubby bloke called Bruce came and joined us as well, who's his mate. And I said, "We think you're crazy." And he said, and I said, basically, I think that deep down maybe we still resent you for kicking our asses and leaving the empire in 1776. He said, "I don't give a damn. It was more than 200 years before I was born. Why should I care?" And he was like, he was sort of like, all right. He just laughed. He said, "That was your Vietnam," he said. And then he said, it got funny after that because he started telling me, "Think about the Vietnam War," he says, "America didn't really lose it, we just gave up. It became more trouble than it's worth, and we had incompetent generals. It could have been won, it was winnable, but we just gave up. We lost the political will to do it." And there's this guy, this much younger man, because Dan was sort of like, I'd say 60-something, and Bruce was about the same. And this much younger hippie-looking guy with a big black beard, he on the next table, he was sitting like at the table next to us, and he immediately interrupted. He said, "Excuse me, man, what did you just say? Did you say America never lost Vietnam? Vietnam was a humiliating defeat. We were beaten. We were kicked out." And it was like, and then they started an argument, those two, about the Vietnam War. And then I thought to myself, I felt suddenly I was out of the conversation. It was like, and I suppose, I mean, I don't really know I'm not exactly sure. I might have opinions which neither of them would agree with. But then Mark and Colin came in and saved me. So I went and moved. I went to their table. That's quite amusing because those guys carried on arguing, got quite heated, and they were raising their voices. It was quite fun. But they calmed down eventually, and Dan and Bruce went away, and the hippie guy just carried on with his breakfast. So we're now approaching. There's this like security guard on the corner, like directing the traffic. It's quite interesting. And someone tried to walk down the road, the traffic road. He said, "No, go on the pavement, cross." He said, "Sidewalk. Stick to the sidewalk." And he showed the pedestrian area which I'd been using. So yeah, here we are. This was here yesterday. I've never seen anything like this before. Look at that. It's from Nevada. Lifer. L-Y-F-E-R. I like the way number plates in America have these little pictures on. I mentioned that before, didn't I? But this is, what is this? I think it's the thing that Trevor was talking about on Third Rail Radio. Look at that. It's like, this metal, they can't beat it in. This is why it's sort of angular and wedge shaped. They can't beat it into. Look at that. Cool, isn't it? Wicked. No, they don't need number plates on the front in some areas. Don't know where the headlights are. But that's what a mean car, isn't it? One big windscreen wiper. How about that? And there was a bit of fuss when these cars came out. They were sort of like special cars, like specially designed. The reason they're wedge shaped, like I said, is the metal can't be beaten apparently. It can't be beaten into shape like these cars, curves and things like that. I've arrived in plenty of time and they got this done up. Look at that. They got these big, look at the banners, huge. Oh, that's brilliant. Well done, guys. Guys wearing silver sequin clothing. I must say, I'm interested in the clothing people are wearing here. There's no uniform as such, but there's the form seems to be very much kind of like t-shirts like this one, or coloured Hawaiian shirts with alien UFO motifs seem to be very much the vogue of the day. Let's see if I can see any more. But I think we're all queuing up now for the Crystal Ballroom for the disclosure thing. Yeah. All right, guys. I am actually on the front row this time. As you can see, I've decided to use my VIP privileges just this once because I think this is. I've got a feeling this is probably going to be the best event at the conference so far. I've got just a feeling of that. That's it. This is called the Crystal Ballroom. This is where we had the party the other night. Alright viewers, yeah, that was this disclosure panel, and well, that really raised the roof. That was great. That was a real rabble-rouser, and I'll say more obviously in the review, but I loved every minute of it. I'm now going to get some water, and I'm going to go see Richard Bleeping Dolan himself. As you know, I have mixed feelings about over in the inspiration room, so I've got a bit of a long walk. I've got to go across the courtyard, and that'll be fun. That'll be great. Next, I hope. Where's all Mark and Colin? After you, sir. I haven't seen Mark. There's a good example of the coloured shirts that everyone seems to be wearing. I think that's a good one. Also, where Colin and Mark are. Oh, they'll turn up. I mean, we sort of drift around on our own in these places, you know. Like in Las Vegas, you know, Colin and Mark and I are slightly different. But we're going to go up here now. And the reason I'm using the water dispenser up here is because there's a cranberry juice mix, and it's got ice cubes in, so it's nice and chilled.
You're taking all these supplements, but it's like a feather tickling.
Yeah, very good stuff. It was a good panel. Ryan Wood was there. Steve, of course, Steve and Richard. Tracy Garber-Dolan, Richard's wife, was there. Ross Waxman from yesterday. Who's the other one? Ron James. Danny, of course, was there. Brilliant stuff. Oh, yeah. You get some food and drink here, you see. Very good. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm now in the inspiration room on the far side of the venue. We've got Richard Dolan coming up in a moment. There's the stage. Now, I can't help noticing that I may have mentioned this before, but Richard Dolan has been put on a lot of his events are parallel to Steve Bassett, as if they're trying to set up a cage fight. Because you know there was a rivalry between those two. I mean they're friendly, you know, and they're fond of each other. They collaborate, but they also do fight, and they do argue. There was a bit of a debate in the last event. I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, so they're trying to engage a bit of healthy competition between the two of them. But anyway, we're just waiting for his royal Dolanness to come on stage, and then we shall begin.
I'm not really an activist. I just try to understand. I just want to know what is going on here, and if that leads to positive change, yes, we want that. But for me, that's considered very, very wrong. Or only the conspiracy theories that your government wants you to believe, I suppose. But basically, not conspiracy theories. So obviously, there are many, many questions that follow. Do you know about abductions? How?
Well, guys, Jeremy Corbell just walked past, looking very serious. He was being filmed. I think that was deliberate. I must say, I've just finished watching the Richard Dolan event. Hang on, let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry, guys, that's it. That's better. I just finished watching the Richard Dolan event. I must say, he behaved very differently this time to how he behaved in Las Vegas at Stairway to the Stars. Because at the end, like when someone came in and told him his time was up, he said, "Oh, sorry, I'll just be 2 minutes." So there was none of the arrogance he showed in Stairway was actually at this one. You know, I was quite impressed actually. I was quite pleasantly surprised. He seemed an awful lot more modest and more came across as more likeable. The sun is actually we're close to midday now. We're close to midday now, and the sun is actually, you can feel it actually if you live in our part of the world. I live on the 55th parallel. We're here lower, we're several degrees further south here. But the sun never actually ascends to this elevation where I am. It's interesting to think, Colin, isn't it? The sun never ascends to this elevation where we are. Never. It's actually shining at us from an angle that it never does at home. Far higher than it ever does at home. So that to me I find interesting. It's just another element, just one of these little things you pick up subconsciously to tell you are in an alien place. Not literally alien extraterrestrial, but alien in its more traditional sense. Okay, so it does feel it's getting hot again, as it always does here. Some people don't mind the heat. They like to sit here and bathe and sunbathe in front of everyone. You know, it's just like a thing that some people like. Yeah, salamanders. There's old Jeremy Corbell. He's here doing something. He's been filmed by someone else with a much better camera than me. Yeah. Jeremy, of course, is very well known. He's one of these kind of people that everyone has heard of, and he's good. He's the guy who broke some of the most famous UAP footage we've seen so far. So it's quite interesting to see him there. Yeah. It's good that he's here at the event actually, because I think he's a welcome addition, definitely. And yes, someone's got a much better camera than me. Yeah. I need one of those. I've got camera envy. Yeah. Cheers, Dynamite, that's a good one. Want to swap cameras, anyone? I want one of those. Mine's not good. What's his name again? Jeremy Corbell, you know? There's another really cool shirt, I must say. Just to clarify a little bit on what I said about Richard Dolan, for those of you who remember, when we were at Stairway to the Stars, he was the one who said, oh, I'm running over. At the end of his talk, he said, I'm running over, I'm running over, I'm running over. In other words, you know, sod the next speaker, I'm the great Richard Dolan and I'm speaking, you know. Well, as I was saying, clearly he's behaved very differently today. He's behaved in a much more modest and I think dignified manner, and that impressed me. It impressed me, and maybe I've misjudged him, in which case I apologise. This is Michael O'Sedona, that's a good name, and he's going to be talking about, well, they call it America's false flag. They don't, in the programme it doesn't actually say what it is. It's about 9/11. I'd be interested to see what it says actually, whether it has any. It says 9/11, the rest of the story, and the ET connection. You see that? I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know whether he's going to bring up Dr. Judy Wood. Obviously, Andrew Johnson is not here. Andrew Johnson wouldn't come to here, this place. There's lots of ordinary people here, and Andrew Johnson does not associate with ordinary people, you know. No, only superhuman man gods like him. The enlightened elite is where Andrew Johnson goes. So, no, you never see Andrew Johnson at a place like this. So it says destruction of evidence, 9/11, the rest of the story, and ET connection. I've got a feeling this is going to be the most controversial event here, because it's a departure from the whole UFO thing. I mean, I talked before about Jordan Sather and about the strange disappearance of his recording. I wonder what will happen to this one. That is one wicked t-shirt this lady's got on, because people have wonderful shirts, alien shirts. I've got this one, which is quite cool. So we're all dressed for the part, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, ladies and gents, I'm back in the Atlantis room to see Kelly Chase, presenter of the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. She's over there right now. See, just see her over there. There she is. I'm very into. I know I've never seen her live before, but I know it's a very, very good. She's got a very good podcast. It's a really, really analysis is excellent. So I'm looking forward to hearing this. All right, guys. So I've decided to skip a session. Go back to the hotel, because if I don't do that, I'm not going to get an evening meal again. So I don't want to go another day without an evening meal. So I'm going to go back to the hotel. Colin and Mark are joining me. I don't know where they are exactly, whether they've gone ahead or whether they're behind. That I'm uncertain of. But I have got in touch with them and told them this is the hottest part of the day. It's got to be. I haven't looked exactly, but it went up to 41 degrees the other day. It's probably something like that today, which is about 105 Fahrenheit, something like that, which of course I'm not used to. And I'm quite glad actually that my hotel is only a short walk away. I actually feel the heat coming off the ground through my shoes. It's actually, if I stand still for too long, it'll actually get quite painful. If I had bare feet, I probably wouldn't be able to do this walk, I'd say. Yeah, but these cars, when you get in these cars, my God, you must have to hold the door open for like about 3 minutes before you can even get in the bloody car because it'd be too hot. And at least they don't leave dogs in them. I mean, goodness me. I think people live around here are sensible enough not to leave their dogs in their cars, like we Brits sometimes do. But that's stupid. And yeah. I've just seen Kelly Chase. Met her and got to speak to her briefly. Just told her thanks very much. I've been listening to her show for, and I have been listening to her show for like how long? What's that sign? There's a strange symbol on my camera. I don't know, on the camera display. I don't know what that means. Anyway, as long as it's working, that's the main thing. And it was a very interesting talk. I'll review the talks fully, like I said, later on. But I'm going to walk now. I asked about getting a razor because I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. My chin is starting to itch, and because as you know, I tend to keep myself clean shaven, and I keep myself clean shaven, which and so when it starts to grow a little beard, you get itching. I might have said this before. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I have grown a beard twice in my life. I did one for a bet because Tino bet me I could grow a beard for 3 months, and I did. And then I grew one as a protest to the horrible sexist anti-male Gillette ad. A protest beard. I grew that for a couple of months. I think maybe I don't think I had an article about my protest beard or video, but those of you who follow me, I think I might have explained because obviously I had my beard on when I was on camera. After about a week or so, it stops itching, but I want to just get rid of it. The thing is, I asked the reception, they don't have any razors they can sell me. They said there's what they call a grocery store about a mile. He said it's about a mile away. Well, I mean, I think if I wouldn't want to walk a mile in this weather, it's can manage it in cold weather, obviously, but in cooler weather, but not when it's this hot. And I could go earlier or later, but then I'd have to miss a talk just to get a shave. No, I will just put up with it till I get home. That's the thing to do. Just put up with it, and then so when you get home, just get it done when you get home. That's the secret, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm off now, and I'll be back later because there's a talk by what's his name? Ryan Wood. That's going to be interesting. The sprinkler, I don't know if you can see on the sprinklers here actually look quite pretty. It's almost like some kind of decoration. As I said earlier, you know, the very names of these places, you can almost sense the moisture in them. Palm Springs, Indian Wells. There's a ghost town in Nevada called Crystal Springs. I found out when I was investigating the Jerry Freeman story. Look at the rainbow there, see? It was named that by the Lost 49ers, Crystal Springs. It's one of the places they discovered a spring there when they were all really thirsty and in danger of dehydration. It's Crystal Springs. You can sense, you know exactly how they felt when they found the place. It's lovely, isn't it? It's like I say, these things. It's almost like a worship of water. I'm trying to get all the really cool shirts. I like that, guys, as well. Bigfoot saw me. That's good. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Oh, it's Mr. Wood. There's Ryan Wood, and this is Miss Green. This is the Atlantis room. Back in the Atlantis room, we're going to see Ryan Wood. He's just re-released his famous book. It's come out as a new edition. About time. It's very, very good. So I'm looking forward to this enormously. They're playing baseball. Oh my God. That's another great. See what I mean? It's brilliant. There are police cars here for some reason. See that? That is the sheriff. I shot the sheriff. But I hope the sheriff don't shoot me. I'm gonna get out of here. The thing is, when American cops turn up, sometimes they're shooting. I know, no, life's not like a movie, Ben, I know. I'm heading back now, it's about 9ish. I'm going back. Oh, I'd love it. I met Lorien Fenton. So I really like her. I've always wanted to meet her, and I met Lorien Fenton and some of her friends. And I watched. I was watching that baseball. Now, it's an interesting thing, you see, because one of the things about Americans is Americans always have to be stubbornly different about almost everything. And one of the things they're most different, the biggest difference I think with Americans, they are obsessed with sports that nobody else plays except them. It's the thing. This makes a joke because, like, the baseball tournament's called the World Series, right? It's called World Series, but no one plays baseball except the Yanks, and so all the teams in the World Series are American. There's another cop car there, so see it? Yeah, the cops are there. Don't know, there's 3 of them. What are they doing up here? I don't know. Anyway, they're obsessed with these sports no one's plays. But anyway, baseball is a game I can kind of like. You know, baseball is similar to. It's very similar to Rounders, which is a game that's very popular in British schools. It's a traditional English game. The main there's very people. You may think that it looks different. The main difference is the bat's held with 2 hands. Then you get like foul hits. So there's like you have to hit the ball in a certain direction. If you hit it behind you, it becomes a foul hit and doesn't count. There's also like a 3-strike, 3-ball rule. So the bowler has to, well, they call it a pitcher in baseball, has to throw you throw the ball in a certain direction, and there's like an oblong square in the imaginary point between what they call the catcher. In Rounders, it's called the bat stop. And if the pitcher throws the ball in just the right direction to the bat stop, it's called a strike, you know. And if it goes outside, it's called a ball. Oh, something's going on. Good evening. There's more police here, so I'm going to keep going. Yeah, I was explaining that if he gets 3 strikes in a row and the batsman doesn't hit the ball, then that person is out. 3 strikes and you're out. If you get 3 balls, then the batsman gets to walk to the first base. Now that rule is not present in Rounders, but it's still something I can understand. It's an element I can understand. Now, American football is different. American football, some people compare it to rugby. It's actually very different to rugby. It has some similarities, but basically it looks to me like some kind of supermarket sweep at a motorcycle track, and I can't make head or tail of it. I was watching some. There was some American football on the TV earlier today when I was just waiting when I came out of the disclosure conference, and some people, I was sitting there, and then some people started cheering, and I cheered too. I cheered as well. I had absolutely no idea what I was cheering for, but I didn't want to stand out. Something happened, I didn't quite understand it, but everyone started cheering like they do when they're watching football in a pub, and so I just cheered with them. I don't know which team they were supporting. I don't know what happened, but anyway, that's American sports for you. I mean, they do play sports other people do. They play football. What we call football, they call soccer. They play that to a certain extent. There's even like an American cricket team. Believe it or not, yeah. They play cricket. Not often, not very much though. And basketball is another sport they play. They play a lot. Thank you. They play a lot of basketball, and that's a game I used to play when I was at school. And they also play ice hockey in winter. In Canada, even more so. They call it hockey. We call ice hockey to distinguish it. What we call hockey, we Brits, they call field hockey. So we sort of like, we use the word we both use the word hockey, but we use a prefix to determine the differences between each one in the opposite sport. So that's American sports for you. But, you know, baseball I can get into. Basketball, of course, yes, I used to play it when I was a kid. The others, well, ice hockey looks like, again, it looks similar to American football on ice. And it's dangerous. I mean, with a British ice hockey player was actually killed a couple of months ago. Young chap, he was killed in the most horrible way. Someone kicked him in the throat. The police are trying to work out whether it was accidental or not, and he got a terrible laceration and bled profusely from the arteries and veins in his neck, and he collapsed and died. Very horrible case, absolutely horrible. And they do wear a lot of protective clothing, the hockey players, because it is bloody. Anyway, I'm here with the multicolored trees again, and I'm heading back to the hotel. Mark and Colin are still on the piss, of course. They've got our lady friends with them, so hope they enjoy it. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning, the day after St. Theo's Day. I'm going down to breakfast. It's about 10 to 7. I thought I'd just review the speakers from yesterday. Something a bit weird's happened. For some reason, Linda Moulton Howe I've written Linda Moulton Howe's review, the review of her talk, straight after the disclosure panel, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know what that is. I'll sort it out later. But anyway, there was the first event was the one I wanted to see the most, probably the disclosure panel. There were 6 people: Richard Dolan, Ross Waxman, Ryan Wood, Ron James, Tracy Garbutt Dolan, and Danny Sheehan. And it was basically just a Q&A. You know, you ask the questions and we'll provide the answers. And one of them was the first question was one that I probably would have asked. You know, what's to prevent the repeal of the Schumer Amendment happening again? So it's all very well that Mr. Garcia is putting forward his bill, and there's several other things like that. Of course, Tim Burchett is still doing his good work, but the forces of reaction within the system are still there. You know, the 2 mics are still there. They're still in power. They still have the ability to do what they did before. I mean, so far nothing really significant has been done to address that, and so there's no guarantee. In fact, it's quite likely that what happened in December last year to the repeal of the Schumer Amendment will happen again, and we need to take steps to stop that. There's different kinds of disclosure. There's segmented disclosure, partial disclosure, slow disclosure, medium disclosure, fast disclosure, and I can't believe it's not disclosure, etc., etc., etc. Apparently, it's different sorts. Fake disclosure also that did come up, which I think is a bit of a can of worms, but needs to be opened. Apparently, the authorities are very, very afraid of catastrophic disclosure right now. Now, catastrophic disclosure is one of those buzzwords from the post-2017 world, along with ontological shock and societal disruption. I don't like the term catastrophic disclosure. It doesn't really say very much. It doesn't really. There's nothing. It's not really been defined. I mean, I know basically what it means. It means essentially someone on the inside of the UFO program bypasses the usual flows of information at enormous risk to themselves to approach the ufological community or the media directly. This is essentially what Larry Warren did in 1983. Now, if that's the only way we can make progress, so be it. For those who fear it, the authorities, well, they've only got themselves to blame. This is entirely their fault for closing down all the lawful avenues to the same outcome. What do they expect? Now, one thing that wasn't mentioned, which should have been really, was this statement by Lou Elizondo. He tweeted, you know, I'm not suicidal, I don't take drugs, I drive carefully, things like that. Maybe that's, and of course, that's because that was kind of an assassination disclaimer, isn't it? Because now this was on the Vetted podcast. Somebody mentioned that someone on the inside one of the witnesses, one of the whistleblowers that have come forward, along with, who hasn't been named yet, has died in mysterious circumstances. We don't know who they are. It's a horrible tragedy if that's happened, and but it's not least because they were being so brave and coming forward. But it's another thing. People are going to meet with accidents, and it'll be dismissed as coincidence, just as it was dismissed by coincidence as when, in the space of 5 years, we had 3 major assassinations in the United States: John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and Robert Kennedy. So 3 people killed by lone nutters with guns in the space of 5 years, and skeptics say that's just coincidence. And they reject the positive evidence that are the mysterious elements to all 3 of those assassinations. I could talk to you about all 3 of those, no matter how dodgy they are and how the official story makes no sense. But you know what I think about those. Someone asked about the Citizen for Disclosure and the not the National Policy Institute, what was it? NPI. New Paradigm Institute. There's another organisation I'm familiar with called the National Policy Institute, also called NPI. So it's a bit confusing. New Paradigm Institute. Yeah, and they have a lot of experienced lawyers. So Danny is very confident that this is not going to be a problem, and I hope he's right. I really do hope he's right. Someone suggested resubmitting John Mack's old articles to the press. That's a good idea, I think. Danny said there should be criminal penalties for destroying ufological evidence. I quite agree. Yeah. Now I'm going to skip over Linda Moulton Howe for some reason. I don't know why that's happened. God. And comes Richard Dolan. He was the next speaker. He had a talk called "Move Counter Move," the disclosure chess game, and he talked about the background. A lot of people fill in a lot of background here, so these talks are all designed to be self-contained, even for people who are not familiar with the entire story. So he talked about the basic history of the whole thing. Attempts at secrecy from the 1940s onward. It was Major Donald Kehoe who first brought up the idea of disclosure. He first coined the term of UFOs or flying saucer disclosure, and he said. And then there was the Condon Committee. There was the Robertson panel, of course, then the Condon Committee. The Robertson panel, incidentally, this is very interesting because the term UAP, which is used today, which I do use it occasionally, but I prefer good old UFO, was created, so it was invented, UAP, so the government could talk about something without the cultural and psychological baggage of the term UFO. They didn't want to sound crazy. Now, ironically, the term UFO was created by the Robertson panel in 1952 for the very same reason. And we loonies have culturally appropriated it. And now we're culturally appropriating UAP, and they're going to have to think of something new. But he talks about something he calls the Invisible College, which is like civilians who are civilians working outside the official government structure, but who do the sort of investigation themselves. The best known of these is Robert Bigelow, who he did this with NIDS, the National Institute of Discovery Science. He did it at Skinwalker Ranch. And the NIDS basically became the TTSA. And there was people like Harry Reid. There was ATIP, ORSAP. Of course, Bigelow then leaves the Invisible College and he goes back. He goes into the system when he signs the contract for ATIP to analyse the debris. There's the second Skinwalker study, and called Kona Blue. There's the Podesta emails from WikiLeaks, and then Melanie Elizondo, and then the New York Times article. And so he goes through this sort of history and ends with Carl Nell, most recent assault convention. He's a good speaker, Richard, very, very knowledgeable and very, very articulate. He believes there's a war going on within the national security state, and some of them are motivated by money. Some of them want to declassify the technology simply so they can develop it privately and make a fortune, which obviously those are bad motives, but they might work in our favour. There's people like low-level media. Now, Richard doesn't believe, as Steve Bassett does, that the mainstream media can be conquered. There's like low-level media. There's like three-number news channels and things like that, like News Nation. Well, I mean, I think they do a good thing. I think the Squarespace advert that I mentioned earlier, I wrote about this on HPANWO Voice, proves that this is now kind of pushed through into everyday culture, things like that. The number of people I see who recognise this image on my T-shirt and come up to me and talk to me about it, not just at this conference, but in Oxford, you know. It's amazing. He said there's lots of people going to be against this, of course, the Pentagon SAPs, Intel contractors. Now, he believes what happened with Grush he calls it an insurgency. And he's confident that possibly we could cross the red line, which would be basically decisive forensic evidence. In other words, a crash retrieval. The next speaker was Michael O. Sedona, who said he was going to talk about 9/11. I could just see smoke coming out of Andrew Johnson's ears, because he said that thermite was used, but other things as well. Now, this guy's, I should have gone and seen the two Georges, because George Knapp and George Norrie, because this guy's a total space cadet. I mean, he looks the part. Sedona is very like Glastonbury, and this is a guy you could imagine in Glastonbury. Wears a white suit, long hair, plays the guitar, wears like a straw bow tie hat and things like that. And the first half hour was just it was just drivel. The guy was just talking about how when he was 2 years old, he was given the secrets to the solar system by the Crucian aliens and things like that. And then he starts talking about things like, he says that there was gold stored in WTC6, and the records of the bonds from the gold, which were $12 trillion, which basically was affecting the US economy, were kept in building at WTC1. And he says something interesting, things that I didn't know about, like there's the hole in the tower, which is the wrong size for the plane. That's interesting. He also showed some footage which looks like the Pentagon impact. Now, with the missile, now I don't know if it's real or not. I'm not sure. And then he gets his gun out. I mean, I thought it was a gun. It's actually a laser, which he made himself. He made himself a laser gun. And he points it down this model, this sort of cardboard model of the World Trade Center, and it catches fire and I thought, oh god, the fire alarm's going to go off now, and everyone was like laughing and gasping. Then he's sort of like he's like this with his gun. Oh, I made this, and he's like waving it around, and he's sort of like pointing at the audience. I almost shouted at him, "Don't point that at me!" And I thought, my goodness me, if you were like a range master on a firing range, would have your ass for doing that, because you can kill someone that way. Obviously, it's a laser, but it could burn someone, it could damage someone's eyes. Yeah, what a crazy. And he says something strange. He says, well, people ask some questions. Says, what happened to the passengers on the planes? And he said, oh, they were taken into the NASA vacuum chamber, and the air was pumped out, and they were killed. And I thought, that's a bit of a weird, that's a rather strange, it's a rather strange way to kill people. I don't agree with that at all. He said O.J. Simpson was the Mandalay Bay shooter. And I'm like, what? Someone asked him if Kate Middleton was dead. No, I wish I hadn't gone to see this guy. I wish I hadn't. Kelly Chase was on next. She's a very interesting lady from Down at the Rabbit Hole podcast. Now, she's actually kind of moved on from where she used to be, because she used to be like a standard UAP vlogger. She now talks more about the John Keel stuff, about the meaning of the phenomenon and things like that, which is very interesting, I think, and its connection to consciousness. And she gave some reading recommendations, such as A New Science of Heaven by Robert Temple. That's interesting. Another blonde likes Robert Temple, and things like that. She sort of says, well, how does an ant feel when they see us? How do we communicate with an ant? We can't really, but if we wanted to, we would send down something to the anthill that looked a little bit like an ant, but wasn't exactly an ant, and that might be why aliens sort of resemble us. And I thought, a very interesting idea. Fascinating. She's really intelligent and really intelligent. Really got, really, she deserves the success she's got. And of course, then there was Ryan Wood, who talked about crash retrievals, and who knew. Apparently, J. Edgar Hoover knew, Albert Einstein knew about the crash retrievals. and he's very, very into AI, and he said that he's got an AI program for deciphering UFO mysteries, and he's asked people to send in their questions for this AI program. He's made it into a book, and he'll answer the questions. His work on MJ12 is amazing. He's convinced they're real. They're extremely well done. Like for example, the typeset has been specifically linked to a US government printer, and he even knows exactly the printer it was made, and the printer was actually bought by the CIA. I mean, people say, but it's disinformation. It's designed to for what? What purpose does sending fake alien documents out serve? And how come they're so sophisticated? Why do they need to be that sophisticated? Disinformation generally is quite transparent, because it only needs, without sounding insulting, it only needs to fool the stupidest people. So real disinformation is often quite easy to spot. So I agree with him. I think these are real. And Stanton Friedman had a bet with Philip Klass about it. Yeah, he mentioned something about xcorp.com, and he says that there's a person at the Lockheed Martin has a photograph of a UFO on their wall, and nobody, it's a bit like Nick Pope and the Calvine footage, and he said no one knows where that comes from. He said it must be real. He mentions Cape Girardeau, which is interesting. And now I do wonder if he'd heard about the Nottinghamshire case. I'll have to ask him that before we go home. He says there might be a black swan event. In this case, this does not refer to millionaires going into their bunkers. He thinks it could be something unplanned which causes disclosure, because he believes willing disclosure is impossible. Which is, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's true. I mean, I'm sort of wavering with the idea, as you know. Anyway, interesting speakers. I'm now going for breakfast. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm heading for the venue. It's 28 degrees, I think, already. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Heading for the venue for day 4 of the Contact in the Desert conference. Can you believe 4 days? I mean, it's a 4th day of this conference, and there's a 5th one as well. Monday, tomorrow. Oh, wow, amazing. And so I'm enjoying another nice walk with the scenery behind me. This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. I put something on Facebook. I posted a still on Facebook last night. What a place. Yeah, now, I've lost my program, but I know in Enterprise, or in one of the rooms on the far side, there was a talk about Puerto Rico at 8:30, which I'm going to go to. And Puerto Rico is really interesting because it is, it's kind of, it's like a mecca for weird phenomena. I mean, UFOs, certainly, sightings of aliens, cryptids, USOs, disappearances, and sort of teleportations and things like that. So I'm very, very interested to see that. It was a toss-up between that and the Experiencer panel, because I like the idea of both. But I've decided to go with Puerto Rico. It's Serena, what's her name? Not Serena Williams. Serena somebody is presenting it. So that's my next port of call. I had a lovely breakfast. I met Dan again, this guy called Dan. There's three other chaps I met, some old guys who are going to the conference. It's amazing, you know, if you really ever feel lonely, you know, the place to go is a conference like this. Or if you're interested in other things, go to a conference related to your interests, because you instantly make friends. It's like I could talk to people who I've never even said hello to, and like I know them really well, and we have conversations break out almost immediately. It's really wonderful. That's why, you know, I'm going to be a miserable bastard tomorrow afternoon, I'll tell you. And so be prepared for that, ladies and gents. Be prepared. All right, I'm heading off, nearly there now. And I left plenty of time this morning, of course. I realise that there's something I haven't actually seen yet here, which I should have done. The clue is looking at the grass. Bit of an elephant in the room sort of situation, I think. Well, suddenly you notice something really strongly by its absence, and that is, of course, a lawnmower. Look at the golf course, look at the golf greens over there in the distance. I haven't seen anyone mowing these lawns. They must mow them almost every couple of days, yet I haven't seen a single lawnmower or anyone operating it all the time I've been here. Isn't that strange? Anyway, I'm nearly there now. Random thoughts from Chairman Ben. Yeah, I'll shut up now.
there's a little lake, and then, and I'm going to show you a picture of that. And then on the west side, you see the green area. That's the amazing rainforest.
Okay, guys, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Yeah. I am seeing the one, the only, the ubiquitous and omnipresent Nick Pope. I want to see what he's, just curious to see what he says. It's good to keep up with what he and others like him say. You know, it pains me to say this, but that was a very, very good talk. One of the best in the conference so far. You ever think I'd ever say that about Nick Pope? But I've just done it. Right, I'm gonna have to now look, and there'll be another talk coming up. So I'm just going to try and find. There's a public program out here on a stall, so I'll go and look at it and find out what's next. But ladies and gentlemen,
are you supposed to be able to do that?
It doesn't. I'm not filming the speakers or anything. It's a vlog. I'm filming myself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know they don't let you film yourself. That's fair enough. I don't, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here back in the Crystal Ballroom, the biggest chamber here at the Continental Desert, and we've got a panel coming up, which should be very interesting. Steve Bassett's on it, Linda Moulton Howe, a couple of other people. So I'll let you know more about it at the end. That's that chap. I told you that's the guy I talk about in my Apocalypse talk. Hello there. How are you? All right, thanks. Has he reappeared, the Maitreya, do you know?
Is he what, I'm sorry?
Has the Maitreya reappeared?
Well, he's still in London.
Is he? Oh, right.
Still in London.
The Benjamin Creme.
Yeah, the same Maitreya, the Benjamin Creme we talked about.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He's still in London, waiting for humanity to open the door. The story is the same. He still has to be invited. And the way we see it is the world is getting very chaotic, so
yes.
The opportunity is about to be presented. Because it's usually it's suffering that makes humans change. It's a level of suffering that will make humanity as per him, and in particular the Western world, right? The one that is being willing to say, right?
Yeah.
So I can see the turnaround. It is about to happen. It's the economy, right? And if the economy crashes and people are hurting, then that could open.
I can certainly see that there's more and more signs that of a major change. So, for example, like the Mayan calendar 2012, we had the second Gregorian millennium.
Yes.
The dawning of the age of Aquarius, and I think it's the end of the Kali Yuga in India. All these things are happening around the same time within the first.
Because they're the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's humanity. It's the awakening of consciousness, right? And humanity is waking up.
Yeah, it's amazing all these things are happening within the same few decades. It's it's great. It's a great time to be alive.
It's the best time to be alive if you were to ask me.
Yeah.
This particular time will never be repeated.
Yeah.
Never.
I think maybe we come here for a reason. You know, we come here for that reason.
Do.
Yeah,
we do.
I mean, be a part of that.
Yeah, every time you incarnate for a reason. And the higher your point of evolution, the more aware you are, the more ability you have to choose when and how you come back.
Yeah.
And in particular, the younger generation, a lot of the members of the younger generation waited for this time.
Yeah.
I mean, hundreds or thousands of years and say, okay, now is the time. This is a unique time. Not only is because this event is happening, but because we all participate in the happening. The changes don't happen by themselves. We make them happen. So it is our actions that create the future.
Oh, thanks very much. I met you in Las Vegas a few months ago. I think you were there.
I was there.
Stellies and Stars. That's right. Great to see you again.
Yeah. And we'll see you again sometime.
I'll come to as many of these conferences as I can. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye. Only at Contact, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, he's here. Darcy Weir. We met him last time. I know this guy very well online, and we've interviewed each other how many times now?
I think you were one of my first interviews. Yeah, when I made the Underground back in like 2012 or something like that.
That's right, the Phil Schneider one.
Yeah.
That's right. And and he's since then, I mean, Darcy's a very prolific filmmaker. And what's your latest movie then?
Trans Medium, Fast Movers, and USOs.
Is that being screened here?
Yeah, it's being screened here.
Excellent.
Tonight.
Excellent. Yeah. You can get it on Amazon and places like that. So do watch it. I mean, we'll listen to her HPANWO show on HPANWO Radio. There's an interview with Darcy and his friend Andy, who's in the movie. Yeah. And a pity he can't be here. That's a shame.
Yeah. I was at a conference with him in New York yesterday. So.
Oh, wicked. So I'm glad he did say he had another one to go to.
He's active. He's still talking about it. So
I find it interesting that the USO, because I mean they don't just come out of the sky as the Creedence Clearwater song.
They're everywhere.
They sometimes come out of the sea, and this was really remarkable, isn't it? How common is that, the USO phenomenon?
I think it's less commonly reported, and I wanted to make the documentary to bring more awareness to the phenomenon being in the ocean a lot. So I think it's common. We just don't hear about it as much.
Yeah, it's interesting video. It's got Admiral Tim Gallaudet. It's got Richard Dolan. And if you like this sort of thing, you'll love that. And check out Darcy's other movies as well. So and your website, it's still Occult Journeys.
It's still Occult Journeys. Yeah, it might scare a few people off.
It's not, honestly. It's just the thing Darcy does. OccultJourneys.com. Thanks, Darcy. Cheers.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Hey guys, it's great to finally to meet Darcy. I've been looking around for him actually. It's the first time I've seen him, and it's on the penultimate day. I think he actually only got here last night because he went with Andy, his friend Andy, who's in the movie. They went to a conference in New York, so he's come all the way over from New York. So about quite a long way actually, about half the distance I have. And so he's just finally arrived. It'd be good. He's doing a talk later, which I'll hopefully get a chance to see, and screening the movie as well. And the movie is well worth seeing. And unlike Caroline Corey, he's going to be there to sort of like present it and to take people's questions and comments. Yeah, so that's great. That is. I was actually going to inbox him when I got back to my hotel room, saying, "Darcy, are you here?" You know, that's good. Do watch that movie if you get the chance. Oh, it's so bloody hot. I think I'm acclimatising a bit though. Once you've done this a few times, your body kind of gets used to it. And the crossing works again now, which is good. I think I might be working the night. I got confused because I was just looking at the wrong display or something. It looked different at night. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going back early. I'm going to miss the next 2 sessions actually. Kind of have a little rest, do some editing, and do some uploading to the private group, and also have some dinner, because they have happy hour 4 to 6. It's like a tenner for some meatballs and things like that, and the pints, you know, the beers, the draft beers are only $7, so it's an absolute bargain compared to most prices around here. Yeah, and I met a lady. I'll say more later about this. I met a lady called another lady from Canada, from Vancouver this time, called, of David Icke fame, infamy, called Mimi. And she said, "Are you?" She actually came up to me and said, "Oh, are you?" She approached me and said, "Are you Ben?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Oh, how do you know it was me?" She said, "Miles Johnston described you to me." I was actually looking. It's weird, you know. It's weird. That's nice, isn't it? It's weird, you know, because I was looking for her. Because I'll say more later, but during the panel, she asked a really good question, one of the best questions that anyone asked. So I thought, I've got to track this lady down and have a word with her. And as it happened, I did. So that's really good. It's nice that. It's nice. I mean, most people have been here. I mean, I think there's a few people who couldn't make it. I was looking forward to seeing. As I explained, Terry Joyce couldn't get here. So there have been some disappointments. Oh, it's white. Yeah. So there have been some disappointments, but generally speaking, you know, I've bumped in. You know, everyone is here. You know, they're all here. This is like the big global gathering of tinfoil hatters. I'm completely in my element here. And as I said, I'm sort of bracing myself for tomorrow when I will have to return to my own alien planet, or a planet that is alien to me. Right guys, I'm heading across to Darcy Weir's movie screening over on the far side. I got here quicker than I thought I would, because I was just crossing over, the crossing by the drive, and one of the guys turned up who drives like the long electric vehicle, like the golf cart. And he said, "Oh, where you going, mate?" I said, "Where you going, man?" This is the Oz Esmeralda. He said, "Jump on board, get in beside me." And so I got in beside him on the driving seat, and he drove me all the way up here. And then, so I got here a bit earlier than I thought I would. I gave him a $3 tip, because technically you don't have to pay for anything, but I gave him $3. I hope that's enough. You know, this is where it is like Las Vegas. You know, what you pay for, what your charge is not necessarily what you're expected to pay for. There's some kind of unwritten rule that you're an outcast unless you give a little bit more. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm heading over to the far side now, to Inspiration, where Darcy will be showing his film. So, well, I've seen the film, obviously. I've interviewed Darcy about it, and his friend Andy, who was in the film. But it's going to be interesting to see it again on the big screen with lots of people, and do like a kind of Q&A with the director. That I think makes all the difference. Like I say, it's like what I said about Tear in the Sky. I don't need to buy the DVD because I've got the bloody video on Amazon, but I still bought the DVD because it's important to get a hard copy of what you were watching when it comes to subjects like this. So I kind of feel the same way about this particular video. I mean, seeing it on the big screen is more important than actually seeing it on DVD or portable media. You know, you get to see it. Hi AJ, how are you? All right, mate. So you get to see what's really going on in terms of people seeing it, people like watching it and stuff like that. Other people watching it. You know, it's like kind of like a communal thing. It's like Alan Parker said. Alan Parker, the film director, says, you know, you can't condense that experience of watching a movie in the cinema into a small box in the corner of your room. You cannot condense it. It is inevitably a place where you got to dream. Don't you want to dream anymore? So I'm back in Inspiration. That's Darcy over there, and this is where they're going to show up the video. So we're basically waiting for the big screen moment for this particular video. So I've seen it before. It's going to be great to see it in front of all these people here. You know, like I just said, Alan Parker. You know, you can't see very much now, but we've come out around the back of the hotel. They're doing a CE5 event, and I don't know how successful it will be, but we did say we'd come and have a look, so we'll see how well it goes.
I'm going to ask everybody who has a camera on their phone, take their cameras up.
Right, let's see if we can see anything, gents.
We're going to do a little bit of intuitive photography.
Intuitive photography, I like that.
We can sit on the grass if you prefer.
I'm here, I'm right here, mate.
Permeating our biological body, extending outwards into beautiful auras around us. And we're going to flow our spirits through our cameras, through our phones. And we're going to project our love upwards into the sky with our intentions. And we're going to ask any beings that are up there to please, when we push the button on our cameras, to please appear for us.
Yeah, come show yourselves, guys. Yeah.
Images.
Mark.
There's a star up there.
Feel intuitively when they're ready. And take photographs. Some without the flash, some with the
That's a
flash.
satellite.
Hold the camera still so that there's no blurs. These may be long exposure shots, so after you push the button, wait a second or two. We invite these beings to reveal themselves in our camera images.
Right, Oh, good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning, final day of the conference coming up. Don't remind me. But I'm just going to go through some of the speakers from yesterday, what they said. The first one was Serena and Douglas Taylor. Now, they talked about Puerto Rico. Of course, anyone who's into UFOs or cryptozoology will hear, or anything like that, will hear about Puerto Rico at some point. And I did ask her at one point if she'd read Timothy Good's Unearthly Disclosure, which is it focuses on that little island, or indeed Island of Paradise by Jonathan Downes. That's another good one. But the principal one is the book by Jorge Martin. He's the main one, and he talks about aliens coming out of a lake and walking around. And apparently there's a cure for a certain very nasty disease, which is one of the biggest killers, which you can't say on YouTube, in the jungle. It's been suppressed. That doesn't surprise me at all. It's in a plant, a special plant. There's a lookout tower for sort of sightseeing and these telescopes, but the telescopes are all made to point in one direction. It's like they don't want us to point in the other. And she herself took a photograph where she sees this little creature, this little ET creature, which is really interesting. Some aliens were reported on an army base on Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico politically is kind of in a bit of a no man's land between independence and being a part of the United States, because it's a U.S. overseas territory, so it's not one of the United States. Yet it's not independent. So the U.S. military is always there, has a U.S. governor and things like that, which means Americans can do. The U.S. government could do things in Puerto Rico it couldn't get away with within its own 50 states. So it's often used for military experiments and stuff like that. These aliens at the base were called refugees, apparently. They had to leave their own planet. There's a waterfall, its flow varies very strangely, and little small cat's eye aliens nearby. There have been several UFO crashes in 1984, 1994, and 1995. And the area was sealed off. It's a bit like the Nottinghamshire Roswell. This thing bounced, apparently. There's a photo of it where it was. There's an artist's impression of where this flying saucer was lying in the ground. And apparently witnesses were kidnapped by the military. They were taken away and never seen again. So, yeah, you don't ever, if you ever witness one of these crashes, go and hide somewhere. Don't let them catch you. There was also another crash near a US Navy radar site. Aliens were seen examining the plants, and there were these little Nordics in warm clothes, which is strange because the El Yunque rainforest is very hot. And also then her husband, she did a talk, Serena, then her husband Douglas did a talk, and he talked about all dreams, alternative realities. He had a past life as one of the conquistadors, and he has an alien teacher called Uriel. And he went on. He also mentioned the Majestic 12 documents. He said he believes they're real, like Ryan would, because he has words like first aid were capitalized, screwdriver were two separate words when now they're one. Diesel, the word diesel as in a diesel engine, was capitalized. These are all like standard spellings from the 1950s. He also mentioned something that Kelly Chase did, the anthropomorphism, the fact that the aliens have, they have a head, they have arms, they have legs. They're to a lesser degree, most of them are humanoid to a lesser or greater degree. The theories for that are that they're us from the future, which, as you know, I don't buy. That they're somehow related to us, which is possible. It's also maybe Kelly thinks it's the way DNA works, and so does Serena. Or it's parallel development, that is, things evolve in parallel, and it's parallel evolution, in other words. Like Richard Freeman told me that there's vultures in the Americas and in the rest of the world, but the vultures in America, they have a different ancestry. They have a completely different lineage, but they've evolved into the same basic shape because they basically have the same lifestyle. And maybe that's what aliens are. See, there's all kinds of different theories. Then, as I said, I couldn't believe it. Nick Pope did a really, really good talk. It's called To Disclose or Not to Disclose. That is the question. And he says it's obviously something difficult because it's something they haven't done before. There's a dark side to the whole thing. And agree. And he mentions the term black swan event, although for him it involves something that causes catastrophic disclosure. But he believes he's heard rumours. It's like Professor Simon Holland that there are that SETI, the astronomers have discovered biosignatures, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. That is, the signs of life on a distant planet. But of course, they're totally, totally against UFOs. Like Seth Shostak, like he came up in Serena's talk. He apparently is trying to. He's a liar though, because apparently he saw a UFO once. That's according to rumours. But they say there's life out there. They may even say there's very intelligent life, more advanced than ourselves. But as I said in my SETI talk, it can't ever reach us. But Professor Simon Holland talks about this. How he says there's rumours that they found something out there, millions of light years away, and they're keeping it quiet for now. I don't think you can keep something that quiet. Not anyway, but maybe he's right. But then apparently he's talks about how aliens get made into bioweapons, like in the film Alien. The company wants the creature so it can turn it into a weapon. And there's the fear of godlike powers, like in Three-Bodied Problems. The aliens could be, even though they're not gods, they're mortal. They could to us they could look like they have godlike powers. And he says it could be that in disclosure the British are in charge for a change, yeah. And they have fear of weaponization. Who gets it first? There could be an arms race. I mean, the US can't keep it to themselves if they get there first. I mean, they somehow had some kind of in the 1940s, after World War II and Hiroshima, there was this idea among the public that the US alone possessed the secret of the atomic bomb, and therefore would be invincible and there'd never be a war again against the United States, because no other country would ever know about this weapon, this secret weapon, which of course was incredibly naive. At the very moment, long before those bombs were dropped, spies, like Klaus Fuchs and people like that inside the program were stealing them. They were stealing the secrets and sending them to the Russians. He said it could be bad news. He said maybe the reason they're not telling us is because it's bad news. I mean, this is an important point. I mean, they always say be careful what you wish for in case you get it. What if it turns out, for example, just for example of some bad news, the truth of the matter is the Earth is some kind of intergalactic barnyard, and we humans are the livestock? Would you want to know if that's the case? I would. I think it's best to know. I think. But he says he talks about the idea of the treaty, which I never believed in the treaty. I don't believe humans and aliens have a treaty. You can't make a treaty because there's such a disparity of power, because we have nothing to negotiate with, do we? What can we bring to the table? The aliens. This favourite one is the aliens give us technology and the government gives them permission to abduct humans. Well, aliens don't need our permission to abduct us. They've been doing it since prehistoric times, and with complete impunity. He talked about there's real things go into fiction, and disclosures like the discovery of the New World. Well, that didn't go very well for the Indians, did it? What if it's what if we're some kind of experiment? What if we're some kind of school project? Maybe we're entering a post-biological universe with a large biological intelligence. Nick believes there's factions in the US government, and some of them believe the UFOs are demonic. And there are occultists in the intelligence service, like Aleister Crowley. What if there's a connection to the afterlife? And this is odd because Bob Bigelow and Leslie Kean are now investigating psychical research, investigating the afterlife. Dr. John Mack apparently started developing an interest to this. What if the aliens are people who've died? In other words, ghosts. Nick then says, well, maybe the government are keeping it quiet because there'd be a massive increase in suicide rates. We think, well, we've got another life coming. I'm out of here. Max out your credit card and shoot yourself through the head. and that's what and the government fear that. And indeed, this is the premise of the film The Discovery, which I did an entire review of, if you remember. And he says that COVID proves that people do lose their minds when they're faced with a threat, and it could be that the COVID situation, you know, the psychologists who monitor it are those now opposing disclosure. Yeah. There's all kinds of catastrophic disclosure could come from a foreign power, and that would be a form of catastrophic disclosure from the American point of view. Yeah. So I must say, you know, Nick, I didn't expect this. Nick gave a really good talk. That was really, really good stuff. He came up with some completely new and very persuasive information. Then there was the Sunday panel, and it started late. Steve sort of came in late. Danny Sheehan was the only one on time, but there was Nick Pope, Michael Schratt, Danny Sheehan, Linda Moulton Howe, Richard Dolan, Todd Curtis. Now Todd Curtis is someone new to the scene. He's an air accident investigator and air safety official, and he has done a lot of work on the O'Hare UFO incident of 2006. This again was a Q&A. Someone asked what portals were, and Linda Moulton Howe gave a description of someone who's seen portals. There's a lost scientist in Antarctica as well. Linda Moulton Howe's done a lot about that. Someone asked her about that. Will there be war against the aliens in a post-disclosure world? And Richard Dolan says it's possible. Then someone says something very strange, and I think the Apollo hoax people would like this. The Van Allen belts were installed by the aliens to contain us, to stop us leaving the Earth. And Michael Schratt said there's no need for rockets. I mean, there was kind of hinting about the fake moon landings there, but no one actually said it. No one actually came out and said it. What else was there? Eddie Laxton. That is interesting. Michael Schratt mentioned Eddie Laxton, the man who encountered probably a man-made anti-gravity craft once. Why is it? And someone says, "Why is this happening now, post 2017? Who got the ball rolling on this?" And Richard Dolan wants to know that. Apparently the Arrow Report Volume 2 is coming, so yes, brace yourselves, guys. Exciting, isn't it? Not. And Todd Curtis talked about the flight safety, simply the flight safety issue of UFOs. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be going on a plane tomorrow and doing a very long flight, a 12-hour flight. I mean, this concerns me. I don't want my plane crashing into some tic-tac. Someone brought up disinformation, the Benowitz and Doty, how you can't trust anyone anymore. Now, the thing is, like Steve Bassett said, that this idea that you can't trust anyone anymore, it's not just an effect of the level of disinformation. It is one of the intentions of disinformation to stop us trusting other people. Steve says that Steve's very positive about the congressional thing, and he says the witnesses must be real. So all this idea, David Grush is a liar, and people like that, praise the cash, mentioning no names, that's all bollocks. He is the real deal, David Grush, and the other witnesses. Sometimes you just have to be comfortable with uncertainty. Has UFO evidence and material been outsourced? This is the basis of the Wilson Davis memo. Yeah, definitely. Are we shooting down UFOs? Someone asked that question. Well, if you know about the STS-48 footage, the alien craft going like that, and suddenly it goes like that, and there's a beam of light. It's been worked out where that came from on the Earth's surface. Actually, it was Central Australia, maybe Pine Gap. Yeah. Maybe we have a weapon that can take them out. And then a lady, I actually met up with this lady. It was the lady who recognised me from Miles' description. This Canadian lady. She said, "What about the Miami aliens incident, which I covered myself, if you remember? Was that some kind of experiment, or was it done to test us, or?" And you see, it could be that they are. This might have been something done. I don't believe it was real. I mean, some people, some very dedicated and some very, very good people went there, who live in the local area, went there to film, and the whole thing got back to normal within the day. It doesn't make sense. Was that an experiment? You see, as long ago as 1938, I believe that psychologists were interested in our response to the possibility of alien life. And I'm talking, of course, about Orson Welles' radio show War of the Worlds. You can get it on YouTube. It's a very vivid kind of docudrama, or fake news story. But people reacted very bad. Some people believed it was real, and they jumped in their cars and drove away. A couple of people were hurt by when cars crashed. There were some shops looted and things like that. And when that happened, some people really believed the aliens were invading. Yeah, I must say that's psychologists have written books about that, and they are interested for some reason in our response to the presence of extraterrestrial life. Yeah. So interesting speakers yesterday, very, very good stuff. That answers one of my previous questions, ladies and gentlemen. There, for the first time I've seen someone cutting the lawn, cutting the grass. I can't notice in Colin, this grass is immaculate.
Yeah, no, they look after it and they get it watered.
Yeah, I thought it might be astroturf or something, but as you can see, it's completely normal grass and it's just soil. It's just completely normal, like any other lawn. It's going up here now with Colin. How do you feel about the last day of the conference?
Yeah, it's always sad, you know, but it is tiring as well, so we're going to sort of take it a little bit easy today. I know Mark taking it easy a little bit, and I did thought, what's the ring with to see this one about the Nazca mummies and that, but
yeah,
I think it's got to be done, and even the next talk about the guy whose father he thinks was in the military had a sort of...
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Role. So then, but then it'll be a bit of sun, I think, by the pool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to take it easy. I mean, there are only like about 3 free sessions today. And I think a lot of the people will have gone home actually last night, or they'll go home this morning, and there'll probably be fewer people here today on the last day. But there's mostly workshops, which of course cost $25 each.
I might even be more than that, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I mean
there's more intensive ones. I think they're actually longer
the intensives,
than the workshop.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't have the prices online, so I didn't really know how much they were.
The intensives are different from the workshops. I think they are maybe $29 or something. Yeah. I'm not paying any.
Might be worth asking actually, just to see how much.
Yeah. But I'm.
Maybe they name their own price.
Yeah. I just think Ian might be able to wangle us free into Lindenmont Howe, but now they're very strict about it. It is very strict.
Yeah, unless you're actually with, you know, like he would get in free because he's like.
Well, he's budget staff, isn't he?
Yeah. It was like last year with Johnny, you know, we got in.
Yeah. But I'm going to just chill out between the 3 sessions today, just sit around nattering and things like that, having a beer. I mean, I can sort of spend I've budgeted quite well this time, and I've got enough money to see me through for the next couple of days. So I'll just sort of like treat myself, I think. That's going to be my outlet. So what's happening today is that we're going to go, are we allowed to go this way?
This is where we came last night.
Yeah, well, other people are, yeah.
No, if you follow it along the
I've always been going around.
Straight out. And the mistake I made was I was going with the car park through the steps.
That's what I did.
This is actually the quickest way now.
Yeah. I have, I could see that the police have gone. I mean, why were the police here the other night?
What are they?
There were like about 6 police cars.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that actually.
Oh yeah, there was a whole load of police here. I'm doing something or other. And I don't know what they were here for, but I sort of left it, you know, when I see police around. It's a prejudice from the movies, obviously, but I thought I might get shot, so I sort of beat a hasty retreat to the car park. But anyway, guys, there's the venue.
View,
it's lovely, isn't it? You can see why they chose this area for the resort, because it's got this lovely view. And yeah, it's going to be... I'm not going to be very good company this afternoon, I don't think. I won't bitch, I won't get too arty, it's just I'm going to be a miserable bastard. I'll get post-conference blues. But there you go, what goes up must come down. It's amazing grass, I mean, you can like... It's not so much as a daisy or a dandelion. It's really incredible. No clover or anything. Someone really has kept this well. This is Melinda Leslie's car at the Arizona UFO Tours. There's the number, and then look, Killing the Lies. Look at the little, what's that there? I don't know what that is. Looks like a piece of garlic bread. But no, that's good. That's a good look. If that's her car, man, that's a very good one.
Well, you know, if you just Google it and then it'll come
yeah.
up. I think a lot of nice.
Ladies and gents, we're now in the venue. You can see actually that some of the merch stalls are gone. That one's still there.
Might get a water.
Yeah.
It's not open yet.
Unfortunately, yeah. Dr. Wallachek's gone, or whatever he's called. I think most of the merch is gone now, so definitely get a sense that things are winding down. Tonight we're back in the Atlantis room, and we're going to hear what will prove to be probably a very interesting discussion about the famous Nazca mummies. Are they real or not? I say not, but I'd love to be proven wrong. You probably can't hear me very well, but there's a little waterfall there, but we managed to sneak into the pool area, and we're sort of sitting around here. There's not many people here today, but anyway, I must say, oh boy, this is dreadfully pleasant.
The water feature.
Yeah, I haven't got any swimming costume. I won't be doing any swimming myself, but it's nice just to sit here. You know, it's quite nice just to in the shade. It's not too hot yet. It's only about 9:30 in the morning. It's still quite. It's like an English summer's day here. Later on it'll probably get too hot, but right now it's not too bad, and we're in the shade, so yeah, sit and enjoy it. Nice friendly little bird there. They're looking at me. Hello. Hello. I don't know what species that is. As you can see, the merch stalls are packing up now. They're sort of disappearing. Sad. It's sad to see that. I should have pointed out, I've just been seeing Daniel Harari, and I'll say more about that later. I've left a bit early because I want to have a little break before I go over it. Now what's happening is, you may be surprised to know, is I'm going to one of the intensive workshops. The reason is they had to cancel the Nazca mummy talk because the speaker wasn't there. Apparently, I don't know why. I'm not saying he was dragged off by the men in black. It may be an innocent reason. He may have just been ill, or he may have got stuck in traffic or something. I don't know. But he wasn't there. So as compensation, they decided to give some backs itching. As compensation, the team here have allowed us all a free ticket to a workshop. So that's really nice of them. So I decided at Linda Moulton House, which is starting in about 20 minutes. Just needed to come out and get some fresh air. I need to try and find Ian actually. But I was with Colin, he's cool. We sat by the pool for a while. It was really nice that, and then we left. Colin and I are now we're now back in Enterprise, and the reason we're here is that we're seeing Linda Moulton Howe over there, you see, and we're going to see her intensive, which is why do ETs deceive, which is a very interesting question. I should point out that. Say a bit more about why the first session was cancelled. Have you heard anything more, Colin? Because the speaker didn't turn up. And it turned out I
didn't actually see Serena. I don't really know these people. I know the other guy was on the panel yesterday. Yeah, but he said it was an emergency. But it seems strange that they would count. Why would they make you queue up for 20 minutes and then suddenly get you in there and then say, but it's not happening? So.
It's an emergency for both speakers.
Is that what they said?
It must be, yeah.
Well, I see, because one can carry on, but I don't know.
At the moment, people are speculating, well, they're kidnapped by the men in black or something. We don't know. It could simply be they're ill. It could be they got food poisoning or something. We don't know. But we don't know where they are. That's the thing. And everyone's a little bit worried. But what happened was they brought us in and we had like an open mic session. And I'll tell you more about it later, but I had a debate with this bloke about the Nazca mummies. It was quite all good-natured, but he thinks they're real and I think they're fake. I'd love him to prove me wrong. I really would. I'd be delighted if someone proved me wrong. But anyway, we're going to start in a minute with Linda, and this is an intensive. It's like 2.5 hours, but I think it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to it. There we are. All right, guys, I'm going back to the hotel early. I was going to go to another free event after Linda Moulton Howe, but I decided I'm going to take some break, because then after I'd have to rush back for dinner and then rush back again, and to be honest, it's just too much. I mean, as it is, this movie screening thing that's happening. I don't think they're even going to show the entire film. It's just a sneak peek preview. So I think that's that now, really, till the goodbye party, which starts at 7 maybe. Or I'll come back and sit in the bar when I've had dinner with the others. I sort of like feeling like I'm already starting to, you know, I know what it's going to be like, and you know what it's going to be like with the post-pro blues and the post-conference blues and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm starting to feel myself moaning about things I didn't moan about before. All right, well, there's a couple of holiday romances that have broken out among my cohorts, and I just sat there thinking. I went through a moment of self-pity about a little while ago, where I thought, yeah, but why can't I have one? You know, just thought, you know, they're having a holiday romance. Why can't I have one? And it's a bit. And of course, self-pity is a very destructive emotion. It really is one of the most. It's one of the most kind of like toxic emotions you can have. So it was just a phase I went through, and now I'm sort of over it. So that's good. That's good. And it's my own doing. I've always said my single life is my own making. I'm not repulsive. I could find a partner if I wanted to. You know, I could get a date, but something's holding me back subconsciously. You know, so I've only got myself to blame for that. Now, Michael Masola and Serena DC, these are the two speakers who were supposed to be at the Nazca Mummy event. Still no news about what happened to them. All we know is they cancelled at the very last minute. Now, there's not necessarily anything suspicious going on, men in black, aliens, kidnapping them and stuff like that. Doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just one of these odd things that happens. Either way, you know, as compensation, I would not have been able to go to the Linda Moulton Howe event. That hadn't happened because the actual ticket was $39 for that intensive, and I wasn't going to pay that much. So, but they offered us a ticket as compensation to an intensive workshop because of the situation with the Nazca Mummy thing. Anyway, guys, it's another really hot day here. A few clouds, which is unusual. It's the first clouds I've seen. No chemtrails. I'm just going to head back to the hotel now. Yeah, right, guys. Looks beautiful over there, doesn't it? Yeah, it's actually cloudy, believe it or not. The sun's still coming through, only just. It's still very warm here. It was 96 degrees when I last checked, but I think the cloud has taken the edge off the heat, and that looks lovely over there, doesn't it? I don't know how much comes out on the camera, but to me that looks like there's big clouds in the distance. It's actually the mountains. It's actually the mountains over there. Yeah, aren't they lovely? Yeah. I'm heading up now for the last time probably, and this is basically there's the goodbye party coming up. Well, I'm going to hopefully meet up with my friends and maybe we'll have some food, but generally there's the goodbye party. It's at the end of every conference. There'll be a lot of thank yous and people getting on the stage and taking a bow and stuff like that, and that's good. But I'm going to have to say goodbye to them, the new friends I've met, the old friends I'll have to, well, at least I'm travelling with some of them, but it really is coming to the end now of a fantastic week, a fantastic experience, wonderful, 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 wonderful conference, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a struggle. I just don't want this to end, that's the thing. I want it to go on forever. But of course it has to, doesn't it? There'll be others. In fact, in just a couple of weeks is the basis project, so you know, it's I don't really have long to wait until I can get back into that lovely world where I feel at home. But for now, this wonderful event, it's the best conference I've ever been to. It'll soon be over. I'm just having a wander around through the centre, through the area where the conference is. I think I just want to have one last walk around, really, I think. I'm just going over to the far side now, although probably no one will be there. There's these people taking trolleys full of stuff out, so I'm probably going to leave now, but friends will probably be over here somewhere. In this little place. People still are swimming. It's nice. Just gonna have to leave. I must say, you know, this is the first real cloud cover we've had. The first cloud I've seen the whole time I've been here. It's been very sunny indeed, very sunny. You see everyone's taking stuff out now. So we're very much winding down now, definitely. I'm just going to nip over the far side. Just want to have a look around, see what it's like, if anyone's there. But to be honest, the far side will probably be deserted pretty soon because all the speakers are over there. It's just a goodbye party left, really, and maybe a meal with my friends.
So there is actually
I'm here with my friends.
Out there, but
I'm here with my friends, and we've just been given a biscuit. It's a Contact in the Desert 10. The X is for the 10. It's the 10th anniversary, so that's our little souvenir biscuit there. Should be nice. All right, guys, I'm leaving the Esmeralda Hotel for the last time. We went in there with my friends, had a meal, said goodbye to Ian and Mona and the others, me and some of the others, and then they're staying on for another pint. I said, no, I'm just going to have a walk around, see if I can see anyone else to say goodbye to, and then I'm going to go. I walked around, I didn't see anyone else that I particularly knew or was close to say goodbye to, so I just left. I don't feel as bad as I thought. You know, I don't feel really miserable like I did in the early days of post-pro blues, but you know, what goes up must come down. All good things must come to an end, etc., etc., etc. It's inevitable. It's the shadow side of the good time. It's because it's so good and so wonderful it makes you feel that way. Do you know what I mean? It's the inevitable shadow of goodness is badness, and the inevitable shadow of happiness is sadness. But you know, you get over it like everything else. It changes, things change. It's like the story of the king and the wise man. The king said, what can I have in my life that will make me happy when I feel sad, and sad when I feel happy? And the wise man handed him a ring. On the ring, he said, put that on. He did so. On the ring was the words, this too shall pass. So, this too shall pass. I'm going the right way. I think that why do I go to places like this? I mean, I don't have normal holidays like most people. I just come to places like this. You see, David Aronovich, in his autobiography Party Animals, said that he felt he was born at a 90-degree angle to everyone else in his life, and that's how I feel. But the thing about it is, I've always thought, there's some sprinklers here. Let's go around the sprinklers. Is there a place where I belong, where I'm not like that? See, I don't know for certain what this world means. I don't know anything beyond the world of the seen. I don't know what lies in the unseen. I have beliefs, I have evidence, I have reason, I have probability, but I don't know for certain what lies in the realm of the unseen. But I do know that sometimes things happen and I'm in places that give me hope. It could be that I'm literally, I can't discount the fact that there is nothing unseen. This is all there is. I was born an oddball and I'll die an oddball. My experience of my entire life is to be this oddball who just doesn't fit in with everyone else, who people poke fun out behind their backs, who people make jokes about, sometimes affectionate, sometimes nasty. Someone who can't really collaborate or compete in the world of the normie. Maybe that's how I'll always be, and then I'll end my existence having never known nothing else, because there is nowhere where I fit in. I am literally just this solitary oddball floating around in a sea of weirdness, and incompatibility. You know, I don't know this is the case. I don't know if that's not the case. But when I come to a place like this, it doesn't give me certainty, but it gives me hope that that is not the case. That there is a world out there for me somewhere. That there is a life I can live where I am accepted for who I am. That's why I come to places like this, because it gives me that hope. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday morning here at Indian Wells, California, USA. I had the mother of all sleeps last night. I was in bed like just literally after I was filming last night, and I got home, I was straight into bed. And but back to the hotel, I mean, and I've slept 8.5 hours. It's about 7 o'clock now. Today's the day we go home. It's quite a long, complicated journey, actually, more so than our journey here. To begin with, we have to get to Los Angeles, which is about 200 miles away. We managed to get an Uber quite easily from LA to here, but getting one back is going to be more difficult because it takes them longer to get here. Then we've got to get our plane to London, which is about 12 hours, and then because of the time zone situation, I mean, there's going to be jet lag, and the jet lag going home is going to be worse because we essentially go forward in time in terms of the time on the clock. So we leave about 5 p.m. this time, Pacific time it's called, and then we get back roughly sometimes 5 to 6 a.m., 5:30, 6:30 a.m. in the morning Pacific time to London. But by then the clock will have moved forward 8 hours, and it'll be about 1:30 to 2:30 in the morning. I saw 1:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon, and so essentially we'll be our body, our circadian rhythm will be like on getting up time, and it'll be like afternoon time. That's if the plane is on time. So then I've got to get to the Oxford coach, and I'm actually not sure exactly. I don't believe it stops at Terminal 5, so it shouldn't be hard to get to the central bus station. But if we arrive, for example, very late or very late, and it's like some god awful hour, then I don't know how you get to Terminal 5 and when the buses and the trains aren't running. Anyway, mustn't dwell on what could go wrong. Think positive, Ben. Go with the flow, as they say at Stairway. A lot's been happening while I've been away, and it seems to be the case. Now, Diane Abbott, I was talking about, she's still in the Labour Party. It's probably a good thing, actually, if you're a Tory, which I'm not. It's probably a good thing that she's still in there. If you're against the Labour Party, which I am, then it's probably a good thing. Nigel Farage has rejoined. He's not just rejoined, he's now leader of Reform again. Richard Tice has gone. So this is about the third time, I think, that Farage has rejoined and has become new leader of Reform. The guy keeps hopping from stepping stone to stepping stone all the time, through no real fault of his own. It's just he's so controversial. And then something happened on Saturday, which was called St. Theo's Day, June the 1st. There was another day for freedom in London, a big one. It's a really, really big one, and I mean, loads of people, loads of speakers. Sargon of Akkad spoke, Maya Tusi. It was a really something quite spectacular, and I wish I could have. Honestly, I wish I could have been there. I mean, I wouldn't not go to Contact to go to that, but I mean, if I'd been around and it hadn't clashed with this, I'd have gone to that. And if there's another one, I will go to that. Anyway, I had dreams I had last night were unbelievable. And I've remembered some of them too. Yeah, I was walking. One of them was I was walking. I had like a false awakening where you think you've woken up from a dream and you're still asleep. And I was in Oxford, and I was walking along by the city wall, and there's like a canal or a little bit of river, and there was this drunk guy walking towards me, and he tipped over and fell in. But as he did so, he turned into a bag of something, a plastic bag full of something. Yeah. Anyway, I'm awake. I mean, I could have had a lie in if I wanted. We don't have to leave till about 11, so I don't have to go down to breakfast now, but I think, seeing as I'm awake, I might as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to miss this coffee. They always say Yanks can't do tea, but Brits can't do coffee. So I look forward to getting a cup of tea when I get home, but not coffee. You'll be pleased to know I don't actually feel. I don't really feel miserable like I thought I would. I feel okay. It's been a good conference over, but I'm not getting the post-conference blues I predicted I would get, so that's good, isn't it? So we're now going to have breakfast and then head for our homes. And all my other friends, my Canadian friends, are going to their homes as well, so all the new friends we've made, parting of the ways now, back to so-called reality. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to what for some of you is the highlight of the entire reportage, the souvenir section. I do these for every one of these events I go to. It's sort of part of my tradition, but it's a good way of like a good and fun way of making sure I've got everything I need to pack and things like that. I did manage to get hold of another program, you'll be glad to know. There was plenty of spare ones lying around, so they just gave them. They gave one to me. And this is Who Are They by... This is this guy, Leslie and Stephen Shaw, right? Yeah, and that's a book. I haven't actually got the book, but they gave me their card. MUFON, Mike J. Rizzo of MUFON. He was one of the speakers. Got loads and loads of cards. Some free bookmarks, Citizens for Disclosure, Take Action. Oh, it's great. And there's the QR code. And New Paradigm Institute, which is basically the same thing. And here's another one of these. I think this is a sticker. Yes, it's like a window sticker. And this is a Close Encounters of the Flip Side kind by Richard Martini. Shaken, not stirred. This is STLS, Sky Tour Livestream, Mark D'Antonio. That's that stall I visited. It's another New Paradigm window sticker. This is how to talk to one's counsel. Well, this is like Richard Martini again, and very alluring looking Jennifer Schaefer. That's the back end of it, and that is Richard Martini again. UFO TV. Yeah. Do you remember that? The first, I remember them. I saw them back in the 90s. They did that video of David Icke and Credo Mutwa. Yeah, they're still going strong. Just definitely get them. This is the. They've put this in a sort of roll for me, but I've got to carry it. Declaration of Human Sovereignty. Now this is for the Marshall V. and Summers group, Laray's team, and it goes through. It's basically it's to do with alien abduction, about how it's essentially a non-consensual attack on people and things like that. Well, that's some people dispute that. I won't go into it now. This is the urged Congress to pass a UAP disclosure. And I say Congress, this could be your own legislature in your own country, like the UK Parliament. There's a whole load more of these. I'll distribute them when I get home. Now, Ross Watchman, or Watchman, have you pronounced that? That's one of his cards. I showed you that earlier when we interviewed him. This is A Tale of Two Timelines. That's German. Project Looking Glass. Oh, this is English, yeah. This is, for some reason, it's bilingual. That's a lovely image, isn't it? Yeah, there's the grand chess game. This is In a Looking Glass, online webinar, Frank Jacob, same guy. Again, it's in German as well. Some free raffle booth, Eat Right. I didn't actually join that raffle. Oh, never mind. That is my pen. This is, what's this? Allies of Humanity. Oh right, that's the Marshall V. and Summers people again. This is Cassilia. Fix your aching back. Oh, I'm lucky enough to avoid that so far, but being a hospital porter, it's always tricky. Here's another one of those from Ross. This is, there's loads here. Hang on. This is The Origin of Orgone, Orgonite. Mother Earth Orgone. Yeah, I've got some Orgonite, of course. Olaloa, Healing Power of Methylation. And there's Dr. Richard Cunin. Dr. Wallach. So we met Dr. Wallach, didn't we? And he has that Rebound stuff I was drinking. This is very nice. And this is books. Yeah. And this is The Mysteries of the Magdalene. Healing Journey to Sacred France. Oh, that was good, but I won't be able to go to that. But I do recommend tours like this. William Henry's Star Walker Egypt tour. Oh, I did join the raffle. Yeah, that's my raffle ticket. No one's they've got my phone number if they want to contact me. And again, there's another one of those. A Tear in the Sky, Caroline Corey's film. As I said, I've got that already on Amazon. I even interviewed two of the cast members or crew, who were two guys who were in it. David Mason, the technician, and his assistant Dave Altman. They were on HPANWO radio. But yeah, as I said before, you know, don't just, if you've got something you really like, a book, don't just have it on Kindle or Amazon. Get a hard copy. It's the only way you stop it being deleted and edited. The Rising by Jeff Silver, that's that Canadian chap. The quest was the plan to build an enlightened city on Earth. It's not Oxford, I can tell you that. Right, we have here alien carvings. These little sculptures and things. Yeah, look, that's good. That is my moisturiser. I need that because I get dry skin. This is Become an HCA Super Member, Hollywood Disclosure Alliance. Yeah, good for them. Bet Bryce Sable's involved in that. XCon 2024. Oh, it's coming back. Great. But it's Springfield, Missouri. I think that's Missouri. Or is it Montana? I don't know. Unexplained Phenomena, Paranormal UAP Cryptids. Now it's October 11th to the 13th. Probably won't be able to get to that, but I'm glad that the XCon is coming back. The Onyx Digital Broadcasting Network. Hey, it's great there are so many of these channels. It really is. That's my free entry to Linda's thing. I didn't, by the way, I didn't review Linda's talk at the thing, the little intensive workshop which I got in for free because they cancelled them. They cancelled the NASCAR Mummy thing. That is my notebook from Truth Seekers Northeast. Still using it. Still less than half full. Really good, that. That is my spare pen. That is a poster that comes with some books I bought. I'll show you the books in a minute. I'm keeping it like that so that it doesn't get broken. That's the UN. That's the UN network. Yeah, brilliant stuff, man. Brilliant. There's the details. That is my camera charger. That is my camera charger there. This is my toothbrush. That's a pen I was given by Steve Bassett. He gave me that. Good old Steve. This is a receipt. It's actually my customer baggage receipt. There's no use to me now because that was for the flight over. That was for the flight. So I'll need another one of those when I get on a plane again. That is it's a receipt for the whiskey I brought. It's the duty-free whiskey. Now this is a book with a free bookmark, and it's called Earth's Ultimate Conflict, a Grey Guardian series. This is the first book in a series. It's allegorical fiction, and it's by someone called Kathy Porter, who I met. Anyone called Porter is fine by me. Not Kathy. Her middle name is not a hospital, but still, nobody's perfect. There she is. Quite a nice-looking lady, I must say. And this is and you can see here the blurb. You can pause and read that. This is a book by this chap called Rupert Guy. He's an English bloke. I think he lives over here. And this is another piece of allegorical fiction called Realities. There we are. Yeah, nice. Brilliant stuff. Oh, one sec. Sorry, that was room service. They didn't ask for this bag, so I'm keeping it as a souvenir, my VIP. I could wear that next time. That's a plastic bag which I'm using to carry those two books in, because Kathy gave me that. That's my phone charger. And finally, this is a charger for something else. I'm not sure what that is a charger for, but it's in my bag. I don't know why I brought that with me. That, ladies and gentlemen, is this trip's souvenirs. Okay, slight addendum to the souvenirs. This is here Kennedy, and that's for Robert. That's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He will declassify intelligence on UFOs. Well, if I were American, then he'd have my vote, I'll tell you. Right, guys, now we're sitting in the lobby at the moment here, waiting to go, trying to arrange an Uber. facing technical problems as always. Checked out my room, made sure I've got everything left in there. I said I don't really feel miserable. I don't really feel as miserable as I thought. I don't feel miserable at all, really. And that could be because I've got another conference coming up in 2 weeks, the Basis Project, and yes, there will be a reportage of that. I should mention Linda Moulton Howe. I didn't mention before how I didn't talk about her intensive course. Linda suffered a lot of very unfair criticism over the years for part of the inevitable constraints of our subject.
Put your number in.
Very often inside these secret projects. And see, it's inevitable that there's going to be like situations where there is no physical evidence. People say, all she's got is people's words for it. She doesn't provide any real physical evidence. But what comes out of these secret projects, sometimes, you know, decent evidence does come out in the form of material, things like that, documents. But usually it's just people's minds, people's memories, and that's what she deals with. Now, are we supposed to ignore them? Are we supposed to ignore people who tell a story? Just assume they're all lying and just say, well, I'm just going to have nothing to do with it then. Yeah, it would be better if they told the truth from the start, he said, and which is kind of like the subject of Roswell Rising, which of course is about where you get the truth from the start. She mentioned several books, The Order by Bo Peterson, which talks about reptilian shapeshifters, Project Bluebeam, an incident where the beam was shining down in Teesside, England in 2018. That's interesting. I wonder what Truth Seekers Teesside know about that. Apparently some of the aliens make their own fake aliens. Mutations of collecting genetics, apparently. Now that doesn't make sense. If you want to collect genetics from people, you just need a DNA specimen, which could be something like a hair. I mean, you can incriminate yourself in a crime, if you are a criminal, simply by leaving a hair from your head falls out and is picked up by the forensic team. That can be enough to incriminate you, because you can get a full DNA profile from that. So that doesn't make sense at all. I've never thought that. Can't read my own writing here. But the triangle inside a circle signia, a lot of aliens have like a circle on their chest, on their clothing, with a triangle inside. That's quite common. There's something called tarantuloids and archeloids, these different aliens. Someone stood up in the Q and said that in the Q&A and said they didn't believe in climate change, which is obviously controversial, because Linda does, and I don't know why, quite frankly. It's very transparently fake. Someone asked, would the disclosure cause the aliens to act violently? And it could be that one of the reasons for the truth embargo is, if it were to end, what effect would it have on the aliens? I think that's unpredictable. Apparently there are things called arcs being advocated. Disclosure, and it's disclosure versus acknowledgement. What's the difference between disclosure and acknowledgement? I'm not exactly sure. I think it may be acknowledgement is just saying there are aliens, and disclosure is saying there are aliens and we've got their technology. I don't know what the difference is. But the arcs could refer to that thing that's under the Aleski Sands in Ukraine that Dr. Michael Saller was talking about. Anyway, that's Linda Moulton Howe. Hi ladies and gentlemen, we're driving back to Los Angeles in an Uber, and I have to say this place has knocked Hyams Manor off the top perch as the most picturesque place for a UFO conference. Just look at that, it's a sight to behold. We're getting close now, ladies and gents. Alright ladies and gents, we're entering Los Angeles. The traffic's really been pretty good actually on this journey. It's better than normal. Strange shape, you can't see it now often, but there's a strange shape, multiple arched structure covering the flying saucer-like. You can see it there, flying saucer-like structure, and that is. I pointed that out to you on the way in. It looks like a UFO has landed, like in Douglas on the Isle of Man. So we're nearly there now. So there's Boeing, there's a Boeing building, and so we've made good time.
There's Rayfield, and that's one of your...
Oh right, yeah, I want to sort of point it as this is Judy. Where the aliens are buried, literally. And there it is, you see there's that strange structure I pointed out to you. It looks so much like a UFO just sitting in the middle of the airport. Very odd. Yes, there it is. LAX, that's it. It's the code word for it. It's become kind of its own name in a way. Los Angeles International Airport. Guys, I got through security. I had a brief pat down. I wasn't pulled over like I was in London. And now unfortunately we can't get into the posh lounge. These things are not always possible, but I put out pride and dignity. At least I've been saluting the porters. It's just an instinct of mine. But we're now sort of in the shopping centre area. So as you can see, one is just much. You can hardly tell this between Terminal 5 and this place. So they're all pretty much the same. But we can board at 4 o'clock, so it's not too long to wait. 2 hours ain't too bad. The good thing about LAX is you can watch the planes taking off, and you can see them from the departure lounge, which is a nice thing. There's that plane over there. That's been feathering its engines for the last hour. I don't know what it's actually doing. This plane, we did see a Delta plane back out of there. It's quite good. Here you get a great view here actually. Look, there's a big window here. That I think is the plane we're going to fly on. You can see we'll be going down that corridor there into the plane. I think that's it anyway. I don't know if the pilot's in yet. I think that's the one anyway, because on the other side they've got a different one.
130, you are the last passengers to board this aircraft. You and your bags are subjected to be offloading. Once again, Donna G. Kozak and Stephanie Joe Fogle. Please make your way over to gate 130 as you are the last passengers to board this aircraft. You and your bags are subjected to be offloaded.
You were the last.
On the other side is this one, ITA Airways, and that you see is connected to the other gate. So, well guys, just getting on the plane. These people are all getting on now. It looks like this. We're actually quite near the back, and all the seats appear to be these like Club World seats. I think it's like this plane is like a special first-class plane, you know, where like I don't know if there actually are any economy seats here. So yeah. We've abolished second class on this plane, like Jeremy Corbyn always promised he would do. But anyway, apparently this flight's going to take, it's going to be a shorter one than the one over, because I don't know why. I think maybe they got a tailwind or something. When I came back from Singapore, it took an hour less because apparently the wind was behind us. So maybe that's the same case. I'm glad actually, you know, because. We're going to be jet lagged enough as it is. So anyway, time for another nice little flight home. Gents, we're taking off over the sea. Right? That is where the Tic Tac was seen, so maybe you might see it. This is the way to travel, guys. I'm watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, classic old movie, and I'll tell you more about the rest of the flight, what I saw, but basically next stop London. We could be flying over Greenland. I see, that's quite something, isn't it? Yeah guys, I'm actually in the middle of watching ET, the extraterrestrial. They screened it into contact, and I didn't see it as we fly over Greenland. Quite something still. Just thinking how great it would be, rather than putting on by plane. How would you feel if I got a train to New York and then cross the Atlantic Ocean in a liner between New York and Southampton? That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? It would feel so much better than doing this. Alright guys, we're coming to land shortly. It's about 11 o'clock local time. Early morning, Pacific time. We're actually trying to fly over Oxford, so well, they could kind of just give me a parachute. I could be only 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, well, we have arrived. The landing was a bit bumpy. It's good in-flight entertainment, but M. Night Shyamalan's new film called Knock on the Cabin is dog shit. It's bloody awful. Everyone's supposed to hate Lady in the Water, of his films. I love that one, but this one is crap. This is his latest one. It's awful. Anyway, guys, I'm here with Colin and Mark. Mission accomplished, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Any do you have a good time, Mark?
I had a lovely time. Yeah, weather was great. The speakers were great.
Yeah, I think it is a premier
Your company was great.
Yeah,
that's true. I have to agree with that one. Yeah, likewise.
It probably is a premier conference now. As I say, I used to go to the Phoenix one, and that seems to have died a death since COVID. So probably, if you're, hand on heart, contact in the desert is a place to go if you want to go to the UFO conference. To be fair,
right. Sure.
It is a bit difficult to get to. I mean, it's not accessible. You have to get either an internal flight or get another. Like we did Uber or Lyft taxi to get to the venue itself. But we had quite a quick journey back, didn't we? So overall, though, yeah, good speakers. Would like to come out next year. Hopefully, they'll have a bunch of new speakers. It's good if they obviously can move these speakers around a bit, so you get something different next time.
Yeah, they did have some new people who've not seen before. I mean, it's the usual rock stars, Bassett, Dolan, etc., etc. But they, Linda Moulton Howe. But they did have some new people, some people I've not heard of before, which was nice. Not just ufological, but Anthony Peake he has covered UFOs in his books briefly, but only in connection to his own It Lady type research. But there's a bit of variety there, general woo-woo. What Michael Barkin calls the cultic milieu, which we're a part of.
You didn't like? No.
But anyway, Colin, it's been great to share this experience once again. I think we did a good job. We all did, had a good time.
I look forward to the next adventure, which won't be far away, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know it ain't far away because
it's 2 weeks, isn't it? Yes. In fact, in 2 weeks' time, we're off on another adventure, slightly closer to home this time, Devizes for the Basis Conference. But that eases the post-conference blues considerably. Which I hadn't really experienced as much as I thought. Well, not really at all, really. So that's good. It's nice to be home, actually. I'm going to switch on my phone and basically I can now communicate normally with my family and friends. So, gentlemen,
adios.
Many thanks.
Till next time.
See you later.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Alright guys, I'm on the airport coach to Oxford now. It's the last stage of my journey home. Apparently it does call at Terminal 5, so there was no need for that. So no need. I actually got the tube to Central Bus Station, you see here. There's no need for that, but I don't know, I don't think it makes much difference to the time of my journey. Anyway, I'm pretty tired. But luckily I'm earlier than I expected to be, because apparently the plane was early, landed early, because apparently the wind was behind it or something. Or they went a different way, I don't know, but probably both, I think, if I remember them saying. So, just now so like I said, this is my last stage of my journey home. Oh, well, I'm home. Home at last. Yeah, it's been quite a day, or day. Again, it seems weird to, because I've got jet lag now. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon now, and 6:30 Pacific time when I normally be getting up. I slept a bit on the coach, but only a tiny bit. I'm finding it'd be nice, to get on a train in LA and then go to New York by train and get an ocean liner across to Southampton and stuff. That's what people used to do years ago. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But time and money doesn't often allow for that, doesn't. But one can dream. So what can I say? Fantastic conference. That's got to be the best conference I've ever been to, without a doubt. Thanks to everyone who organised it, all the speakers and delegates. Thanks to my friends, Colin and Mark. And to everyone I met there, all the friends I met there. Except there was those that were there. And of course, not perfect, of course, no way. I mean, I've got my criticism of it. And of course, I did miss a few people. Some friends couldn't make it. Terry Joyce, Dave Altman, they couldn't get there. And of course, the ones I've lost forever. Gareth Davis, Ian R. Crane, Shirley Bolstock, Derek Savory, who will never, ever go to anything other than some great conference in the sky where we will all join them one day. So, I mean, I've had a wonderful time. I don't feel bad. I don't feel as miserable as I thought I would. Another one coming up soon, the Basis Project. Yes, I'll be doing a reportage of that too. So, I can't really add anything more. Thanks for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.